God puts gifts and talents in all of us. Realizing our lives are not our own gives us a new perspective to chew on.
A need for significance can either be with God or just a journey to pursue stadiums spiritualized. The crash and burn story that turned out to be the birth of a calling that would impact a generation of Christians.
So yeah, I grew up in a Christian family, Christian home, amazing parents. First started in worship actually. And then when late teen years, 18 to 20, it was a dark time for me for lots of different reasons, just trying to figure out your faith, your thoughts. I'm working a terrible job. It was an awful job. And but I had this burning drive for significance. Like I really wanted my life to do something radical. It's not uncommon, but I didn't want a mortgage and a minivan and a 9-to-5, and I just like anything but a normal life. And I loved music. I found like my home in music. And obviously when you're in the dark night of the soul, which, you know, so dramatic, but that's what that whole season's about. It's super dramatic. You know, you begin to write, and I was not writing worship songs. It wasn't what was coming out of me. I just learned how to just kind of communicate my heart to the Lord. Not even to the Lord, it was just period. And a lot of it was heartbreak and love songs and all that stuff. And this dream began to emerge in my heart, and I'm like, so I just put two and two together. I have a passion for music. I have a huge drive for significance. Not that it was, you know, I didn't articulate it like that, but I wanted to fill stadiums. And so I chased this dream, and I chased it pretty hard, you know. But inside there was always this war. It's like that thing where you know you have a calling on your life. Or more, it was even less about the calling. It was more like, Lord, I know that I'm not trying to do this with you. And what I realized is that at the end of the day, I was afraid. And I was afraid of if I submitted this to him, if I actually surrendered, that it would go away. And the dream was too precious. And I was like, I just know that this is going to be a no. and I don't know how to give this to you because I don't know how to give it up. And it was just this constant war, this tension that I had in my heart. And it got to the point, though, where I was miserable. And I'm like, and my dad began to speak into my life. My wife was speaking into my life. And he told me to meet with pastors. He just said, meet with some godly men and just get counsel. And I'm like, all right, fine. And it wasn't a fun conversation. It was a hard conversation. And I'm like, you know, I was just mad. But I did it anyway. And I met with these pastors, and I don't know what happened. It wasn't anything that anyone said that was super profound. I just knew that I needed to surrender it. And it didn't make sense. It was that whole thing where you talk yourself to, well, I've got this gifting, I've got this thing, and why wouldn't it be you, Lord? And that kind of a thing. I just knew I was supposed to let it go. And I did. And then in the middle of that, I got invited to do junior high ministry, which was not on my radar, has never been on my radar. And I'm like, are you kidding? I wanted to lead for stadiums, and I got suckered into leading worship for a bunch of kids who don't care, and they're drinking soda and spilling popcorn, and this is the all-time low of my life right now. And but in it, the Lord just began to do a work, and it was kind of that thing where like, all right, I did it. I somehow crossed over that threshold, and my life is actually surrendered to you, Lord, for the first time. So I guess I'm all in now, and whatever you want to do, I just began to pray that and mean it. I said, whatever you want to do with my life, go ahead and do what you want to do with my life. And if that means I go to Zimbabwe or whatever it may, you know, I mean, take me. And this crazy thing began to happen, and peace. I experienced peace for like deep, deep peace for the first time, and contentment. Like, and I recognized it immediately, and then just momentum, like a crazy kind of momentum. I just learned yes. I learned yes to the Lord. And I learned that leads you so many amazing places. And obviously I'm standing on the other side of a journey, but it was a thorough death. You know, it was not like this is going to get resurrected. And it was no, Lord, you have my life. And it's kind of the journey that's brought me here.